Hey everyone, January 2nd, 2025, our first edition of MHT here in the new year. A couple of changes, hopefully a lot of fun, but let's get to it. Welcome everybody, I'm Kosta, and before we get started with anything, I just want to wish you guys a very healthy, happy 2025, much prosperity, a few extra bucks in your pocket, and a lot of positivity because we've had too much negative in the world right now, and I want to see positive things happening. They're happening with our Canadiens. I'm going to get to that in a second, but right now, a little bit of negativity to start the show. The World Junior Hockey Championships just ended, and Team Canada lost again in the quarterfinals to Team Czechia. It's the second year in a row. They have not gotten out of the quarterfinals since winning the gold in 2023 against, you guessed it, Team Czechia. And now, while personally I expect the Team USA to win this tournament anyway, there's a lot to be said about the shortcomings of Team Canada's program right now. And the program of excellence is broken. It needs to be revamped. They have to go back to what they did prior to the current program being in place. And that is back in 1997, they had an open summit sponsored by Molson Canada where they brought in some of the greatest minds of hockey. They also went out and they visited different federations across the globe to try to pick and choose the best parts of their programs that they thought would be able to fit into the program of excellence. You know, whether it was the cadence at which they practiced, the amount of off-ice training that they did, and so on and so forth. There's something wrong. And fundamentally, Hockey Canada has to fix it because the lack of success in the last two seasons, especially given the fact that we're hosting this year's tournament in Ottawa, that speaks volumes. And so I think as a hockey fan, anyway, who's watched this tournament through the years, I think role players are missing. I think there's a lack of, I wouldn't say creativity, but a lack of superstar status in the program. The only reason they won in 2023 was why? One Connor Bedard. So even that was a little bit of a stretch. So it's time to revamp it. It's time to sit back, say to yourselves what works, what doesn't work, what needs to be fixed, and find a way to fix it. Because if you don't, programs like Team USA and USA Hockey, Finland, Czechia, Slovakia in a sense as well, they will continue to flourish and get better. And keep in mind, Russia's not back in this tournament yet. When they return, all hell's going to break loose because they're going to be hungry for gold. You know they will. So now's the time to correct the program and get it fixed because without it, the fundamentals that make up the Canadian hockey system are going to be broken. So fix it up. Let's get back on the right foot. And speaking of the right foot, you know, we talk about the Montreal Canadiens. We talk about their success. Let's talk a little about Jacob Dobes. Dobes coming into his first game at the start of this holiday hell road trip, as I like to call it, where they took on the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, and he shut them out. 34 saves, looked good doing it, good rebound control. I mean, he was solid through and through. But today I read in the Journal de Montreal that Eric Fichaud, the former goaltender of the New York Islanders and current hockey analyst on TBS Ball, says that, oh yeah, he's an NHL caliber goaltender. And you know what? We do this too much in this market. You know, whether it's Fichaud or anybody else. It's one game. To call and anoint him an NHL goaltender right now is unfair to him. So let's leave it as it is right now. Let him continue to flourish. He's young. A lot of people thought Connor Hughes should have been up in his stead. That wasn't the case. The Canadiens decided to go with the younger Dobes, a plan that I had originally said a while back to replace Caden Primo. That's what they did. He looked good. Let him continue. Don't start pushing the envelope yet. Okay? Let him build confidence. Let him know that he can play at this level consistently. Then raise the bar a little bit. Right now, leave it status quo. And for Fichaud, who's a goalie who essentially had a cup of coffee with the Islanders and then did nothing with his career. I mean, what did he play for? I think he played for the Avalanche as well. And that was it. Does everybody know who he is outside of the province of Quebec? Probably not. So for him to come out and say that, you know, Dobes is an NHL goaltender, Caden Primo, we know he's not right now. He has the potential to be. He needs his confidence back. let's put that aside. Sam Montembeault was an NHL goaltender. I might not be a fan of his goaltending style and the way he does things, but he does get the job done when needed. He's on the Four Nations team for Canada. Let's give it a chance. He is our starting goaltender right now. Let's see what Dobes can do, and let's move forward. Let's not put the Saint moniker on Dobes just yet. And in putting that moniker on somebody, let's talk a little bit about Alexander Carrier, the Canadiens' latest acquisition in a trade for Justin Barron. Again, now the Montreal here in Montreal is saying that he is the missing piece of the puzzle when it comes to the success of the Montreal Canadiens. Sure, because prior to his arrival, the Canadiens were scoring at least 4 goals a game. I don't know about that because he plays defense. He's a defensive defenseman. He doesn't shoot out the lights from a defensive position. He has played extremely well, don't get me wrong. And he does have a better defensive acumen than Justin Barron. He can play defense with a lick. I think I could have found a blind monkey that plays better than he does on the defensive side of the puck. But, okay, we bring in Carrier. He plays better defensively. He solidifies that bottom pairing, I should say. And so the Canadiens now have 3 solid pairings that are playing extremely well. But if you watch very carefully, the Canadiens have also learned to move the puck out of their own zone as a group as opposed to being stretched out too far. They're doing a lot of the little things right. They're getting contributions from Kirby Dach, which everybody was bitching we didn't get. He's got 3 goals in his last 2 games, including the game winner against Vegas. Patrick Laine is still playing well. Lane Hudson is among, the best rookie in the NHL for the month of December. Cole Caulfield scores his 100th goal. There are a lot of positives going on with this team. So leave it there. Do I expect him to beat the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow night in Chicago? Abso-freaking-lutely. Just like the World Juniors, it's only Connor Bedard in Chicago. So if they can stop Bedard, they will stop the Blackhawks. And if they continue to play the way they're playing right now, I don't see that being a problem. That would be 4 wins out of 6 games on the road before they return home on the hellish road trip that they hate going on every single year. So kudos to Marty St. Louis for having this team prepared. Kudos on the players for playing extremely well. And kudos to everybody who had the patience within the organization to wait for this team to come together, because they have. Now, the last question that I have now is whether you believe they're in the mix. As of this broadcast, the Canadiens were just 3 points back of the Ottawa Senators in the wild card hunt, with the Senators having a game in hand. But the Canadiens had 3 teams in front of them: Pittsburgh, Columbus, and Philly. And they have games in hand on all 3. So, what do you think, folks? Are we back in the mix? Are we talking playoffs? Are we thinking playoffs? Or are we still going to go with cautious trepidation? Let me know. Put it in the comments. Let's make sure that we get everything straight away. And as I always ask, please make sure that you like and subscribe to the show as I bring up the graphic. Hello. There it is. And hit the notification bell. Because after all, your subscriptions and your likes are what's going to get the word out about what I'm going to do. I will try to post 10-minute videos on a daily basis on current events. And I will have the weekly show on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. There are going to be times in life where I won't be able to do it. But I will do my best to get the most content out there for you because people are asking for it. So we'll see you tomorrow night after the Canadiens beat the Chicago Blackhawks. And once again, to all of you out there, happy 2025. Go Habs, go.